Yo, I'm working in New Hampshire right now, and I got this crazy motherfucker that everybody kept telling me was crazy smart. He says dumb shit. He's funny as hell. His name is Phil. He tell me the story of you getting busted.
Alright, well, I got sick of my casino job about 10 years back and thought it would be a good idea to run some herb up from New Mexico to Minnesota. I made a few trips and everything was fine. And then one day I'm on my way back, driving through Kansas, and what are the chances but I run into a cop with a dog in a 900-person town in Kansas. And the guy follows me out of town, pulls me over, has a little chat with me.
Tell him what you had in the car.
Oh, just 22 pounds of some serious swag.
Just
22 pounds.
Guess the dog ain't gonna pick up on that shit.
Well, how did I know he had a dog? Plus, the guy really had no reason to be searching my shit. Didn't get the dog out of the car until after he had grilled me for a little while.
The dog can smell a mile away.
So anyways, punk-ass cop grills me for a little while, doesn't like my answers to some of his questions, says he's gonna bring his dog out. Of course, I'm horrified.
What did you say to him?
He asked me if drugs were a big problem in Minnesota, and I said no more so than anywhere else. Apparently, according to the God Almighty cop, drugs are a big problem everywhere, and any person would answer that way to him. Next thing you know, this dog sniffing around my trunk, I'm arrested. The fabulous end to the arresting process was the guy cuffed me and allowed me to stumble and roll down to the bottom of the ditch. So
just take off your feet. Tell him how big you are. Tell him your height.
At that time, I was 6'3" and about 400 pounds. I'm a little smaller now.
So you said he allowed me to fall. Would you have caught you?
Well, I would have made sure that the guy didn't roll down the fucking ditch,
6'3", 400 pounds, you ain't doing shit but moving out the way.
After I get fished out of the ditch and they throw me in a cell with these 3 other Kansas guys, oh my God. One of these guys has been in there for 8 months for buying his 20-year-old cousin beer. Yeah, in county jail. He's been there 8 months. I just got busted with 22 pounds. Anyways, I do my 2 days.
2 days of hard time for 22 pounds.
2 days of hard time. My case goes up before this magistrate. I'm not even in there. I'm still in jail. All this is going on behind the scenes. They come back and say, "You're out of here." All right, I've gotten a huge pass. Talk to my lawyer and he goes, "You may be out of here, but you're not in the clear." He says, "In this state of Kansas, the prosecutor can appeal the decision of these low-level judges." So he says, "I want you to walk out of this place, don't tell them where you're going, and I'll come down here and get you." This town has the distinction, they have the world's largest hand-dug well. So I go and hide out at the bottom of the world's largest hand-dug well.
Anybody throw money on your head?
Nope. This is like one of these tourist traps that nobody ever goes to. It's not as popular as it maybe once was. Lawyer comes, drives me to Wichita, I take a bus home, getting on with my life. Life is good. About a month later, I'm on my way to work, and all of a sudden 4 cop cars come up behind me, like in formation, like they're like approaching OJ in his fucking Bronco. And the guy says, "Oh, we got this thing from Kansas. They got charges reinstated against you." "We're not in Kansas anymore." Hauled off to the Scott County Hilton, the jail in Shakopee, the town where I live. These people in Kansas, you seriously would have thought I was trying to bring plutonium through their fucking town. They're not very green friendly there.
I think green friendly means something different. Hybrid car is green friendly.
Got off on a technicality. Thank you. The 4th Amendment's my favorite amendment.
You need to tell the guy that's in there for 8 months for selling beer to his 20-year-old cousin, he needs your lawyer.
Absolutely, but he couldn't afford my lawyer. Fortunately, I had a rich relative die and leave me some money.
Fortunately, one of my relatives died.
Well, it wasn't someone that I hung out with or anything. So,
You fucking can't, brother.
4 or 5 years later, I'm sitting around watching CNN on a Saturday morning.
Did they pull you back to Kansas?
No, they tried to, but I won the suppression hearing before they got to... Actually, there's quite a bit more to it. Do you want the whole...
by all means.
They take me and keep me in jail for a week, and I'm out on $30,000 bail. It's like I'm a real terrorist. I may look like one, but I'm not. That's correct. This is weed. When I was back in jail in Minnesota waiting for this to all play out, I was like the only guilty man in Shawshank. Everybody else there was talking about how they were railroaded. I just kept telling people, "Yeah, I'm guilty, but I'm getting out on a technicality. You watch."
You can't really say I'm innocent when they find 22 pounds. Nobody has that much glaucoma.
No. No. I get out. My lawyer says that my best plan is to fight extradition. He says the prosecutor's a hack. He won't be able to do the paperwork. He only has 90 days. All right, I go out. I live my life for the summer. End of the summer, I come back to find out my fate. And sure enough, people bring out this very majestic-looking document signed by the governors of both Minnesota and Kansas. Jesse Ventura was the governor at the time, so my governor's warrant had Jesse the Body Ventura's signature on it. It was pretty awesome.
Did you keep it?
No, I didn't get to keep
eBay,
it.
sir?
Yeah, I wish. But anyways, now I'm back in jail in Minnesota waiting to see if I'm going to go back to Kansas, but my high-priced lawyer has another suppression hearing scheduled for a rather infamous date, September 12th, 2001. My trusty cop is in Phoenix at drug school on September 11th. He can't get back for my hearing because they grounded all the planes. Terrorists kept me in jail for 2 more weeks.
Which was their plan?
Yes, it was. It was all a conspiracy to fuck me up personally over. Yes. Anyways, my lawyer rips the cop like an absolute new asshole. Their probable cause was that the cop was a drug expert. Well, they found 2 different cases. One where this clown cop said that a perfectly clean car meant that these people were drug dealers because they kept their cars perfectly clean so as to not attract attention to themselves.
That means my accountant sells drugs, lawyer sells drugs.
Then they found another case where the guy pulled over someone who had a lot of food wrappers and the car was very disheveled, and that meant that they were a drug dealer because they don't have time, they're on the run, and their cars get dirty. And when he presented those 2 cases back to back, he just said, "You don't really know anything, do you? You're just out there guessing." And that was why I was released. He had no probable cause. My constitutional rights were trampled on, and I was allowed to go. Thank you, 4th Amendment. Thank you very much.
See, the system works. Here's the best part. How much money did you lose on that?
$15,000 for the lawyer.
10 kilos of weed. And how much time in jail?
40 days.
You still think you got the upper hand because why?
About 5 years later, sitting watching CNN on a Saturday morning, they tell me that a town in Kansas is almost completely destroyed by a tornado. Details after the break. I spend the break thinking, how many towns are there in Kansas? 500, 600? What are the chances it's my buddies in Greensburg? Sure enough, it's them. The entire town where they wrote editorials about me and tried to fuck me about as hard as a town could try and fuck an ordinary schmo like me, they got themselves blown up by a tornado. The entire town blasted away. It looked like a nuclear bomb went off. So in my twisted and perverted morality, the moral of the story is,
don't fuck with Phil.
If you fuck with me, it might take me a while, but I'll blow your goddamn town up.
Mother Nature is his baby's mother.
Word.